Hey y'all, what's poppin'? I am back today showing you how I accomplished this nail set that you'll see in the thumbnail. So these are the supplies I'm using. Let's get started. As you can see, I've already done my right hand. My right hand is my dominant hand, so I went and got the left hand, my right hand out of the way because of course I have to use my left hand to do it and I'm not good at that, so I wasn't gonna do it on camera. So what I'm doing here is pushing back my cuticles. This cuticle pusher, a lot of the products that I get are from my local nail supply, but this cuticle pusher has two ends, a smaller one, a smaller side, and a larger side. Then I am going in and cutting my cuticles. And I'm sorry because some of these parts of these frames are going to be blurry or like out of frame because this was my first time doing this and I didn't have the lighting right. I didn't have anything right and I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, I'm sorry for if some of it is cut off or like not clear. But what I'm doing here is I'm taking my nail tips and I'm making sure I'm measuring the nail tips and I'm making sure that I get a tip that fits my full nail, that fits my nail from side to side. If you get a nail tip and it's a little small or the other one's too big, go with the bigger one because you can always file it or cut it down, but you want to make sure that it fits side to side because you don't want to allow any water or anything to get under the nail that will cause the nail to lift. So that's all I'm doing is measuring it, gluing it on, and yes. Now I am going in and I am cutting my shape. I'm starting my shape. So I'm going to start off by cutting into the shape that I want. For this look, I did more of a tapered square look. I either do coffin or tapered square. I'm not a big fan of the other shapes like that. The stiletto, it's not cute on me. The almond's not cute on me. So I'm just cutting my shape and then cutting my length, which these are going to be pretty long because they're like a 3-colored ombre look. So yeah, it's going to be pretty long so I can, go for the full effect. And I like my nails long. So I'm cutting, like I said, I am cutting my shape now before I file and do all e-file, do all of that because it saves so much more time, especially once you start to lay the acrylic. I want that foundation of that shape already. So once I lay my acrylic, I know that I'm laying it and shaping that acrylic towards the shape that I'm going for. If that makes sense. You'll see it though. So now I am going in and kind of perfecting that shape a little bit more by using a file. And these files that I got, I think I got these from the nail supply store too, and they suck. Like, I hate them. I actually went and replaced them and got some other ones, and I don't think I like those either. So I'm on the hunt for some good nail files. But yeah, I'm still kind of perfecting the shape. I really didn't know that I was kind of being easy on it. I really should have tapered it a little bit more, but it's okay. It's okay. So now I am using my e-file. Really, what I should have done in the beginning was cut more of it off with the scissors, I would have saved all of this filing and e-filing, but I just went in with the e-file because the e-file is kind of quicker to do it. Now all I'm doing is going in and I'm using a medium bit, a medium sanding bit, and I am removing all of the shine from my nails. So in order to prime properly and to make sure that your nails stay on or last, you have to go through these steps. First is removing the shine so that the adhesive or the primer has something to adhere to. When the shine is on there, it's kind of like it's too smooth and it glides off. So you want something it's a rough texture so that it'll grab onto it. So that's what I'm doing. And you want light pressure. I probably have my e-file on 3 RPMs. So it's really not, it's not running high. So it's light pressure. So now I am going in and I am applying my dehydrator. Like I said, I do these steps every time I do my nails. Then I'm going in with the primer. I usually use 2 coats of primer, but this time I didn't because I knew I wasn't going to keep these nails on long. Now I am prepping my monomer. This is the liquid that I use. And the acrylics, that one I mixed, the yellow one I also mixed, and this one is just a regular white acrylic. So this one is a acrylic from a black owned company. You know, I try to use my black dollars, but I'm kind of disappointed because of the size and the price. So if you look at the one that is to the left of that yellow one, I bought these from 2 different companies at the same time. The difference is that the company on the left, that they're both the same price, but that one has so much more product in it. You get more bang for your dollar. So if you can see with this yellow one, it isn't full all the way, and I really didn't use a lot of that to mix the acrylics. But this one is full to the brim, that one that was on the left. The same with the white acrylic that I'm using. It wasn't full all the way when I purchased it, but it's half the price of that yellow one. So and then I'm just showing you comparisons of some of the other ones that were around the same size and what they offered, but they were half the price, which was a little disappointing because on the website it doesn't say anything about the size. Not that I can recall. It's a good acrylic, but I don't know if I would go back and buy another one for what I'm getting. So now I lost a clip of me applying this acrylic, this yellow acrylic, but this is all that I could find. So what I'm basically doing is going in 1/3 of the way and applying it to the beginning, the tip, the top of the tip, and swiping it down with my brush. And what I'm trying to do is make sure the bottom of that acrylic is kind of blended in. So when I do start my ombre with the next color, it's very thin at that bottom part, if you can understand me. Not at the tip, but towards the middle of that nail. I hope that makes sense. So I'm doing that with every nail. You want to go ahead, if you're doing an ombre, when I do my ombres at least, I go ahead and do every nail, get the tips out of the way, and then go on with the next color. Usually I only do a double ombre, but since I was doing the triple, I'm doing it all the same. I'm not going to work one nail and do all 3 colors and then keep doing it to each nail. I'm going to do them for all 5 of the nails and then start on the next color. So as you can see, I'm just applying. Sometimes I'm getting very thin layers, so I have to go back. I'm making sure the color is very vibrant at the tip, because once I put that next color in, it's kind of going to fade a little bit. So now I am going in and I'm applying that white, and as you can see, it is kind of toning it down, because as you bring the white down into the yellow, it will kind of, like I said, it'll tone it down a little bit. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm only doing that towards the middle portion and a little bit onto my natural nail. So basically this was all my tip. So these two colors were all on my tip. And then the next color will be really on the my nail bed. I had a little bit of trouble, as you'll see in the white clips and in the nude clips, that I was having a little bit of trouble with my acrylic. White is already a hard acrylic to deal with because it is so opaque. So yes, it's a hard color to deal with, but my room was also really hot. It was 80 degrees in there. And when the temperature is hot, your powders tend to be drier, and when the temperature is a little colder, your products tend to be a little bit more runny. So I was having trouble with it drying out, with it being dry and drying out once the monomer was applied to it. So yeah, you'll see that I had a little bit of trouble with it, but I made it all work, you know. And then once you cover it with the clear, once you encapsulate that whole pattern, it kind of blends in together just a little bit. It helps, you know, cover up some of the mistakes, which is good. I typically want when I'm doing an ombre look, I want my powders and my monomer to be runnier because it helps all of the ombres blend together. That's how you get a perfect ombre, when your products are just a little bit more runny, so it just blends in together. So as you can see, I'm still going in with the white on all my nails. I'm almost done running it into the yellow. I got this inspiration, I don't know if I said, but I got this inspiration from Lira Galore. A long time ago, I saw one picture of her and she was showing one fingernail, and I was like, I love this nail. And since at the time I had done my toes white, I wanted to do an ombre, but I didn't want to do a classic white ombre. I wanted to add a little twist to it, so I stole her idea. I'll try to insert a clip or a picture of that nail. Now I'm going in with the nude, and you will see I had a little bit of struggle with this. But what I'm doing is I'm applying it right before my cuticle. I really don't want it to touch my cuticle, so I'm pointing my nails down. When you point your nails down and you apply your acrylic, it helps the acrylic to run down instead of running into your cuticles. So I'm doing that, and if it ever does run into my cuticles, I just clean it up, clean around it with my brush. And I'm also trying to make sure that I keep my shape. That's very important because, as you saw in the beginning, I spent all that time trying to fix that shape. I don't want to mess it up once I apply my acrylic, because all that's going to do is lead me to do more work once it's time to file again. So I'm just applying my nudes. I was struggling with this nail. I was for sure struggling with this nail. And also, a lot of this nail, a lot of the white was covered on it. I just didn't feel like fixing that, but if I wanted to, I could have just added more white closer to that yellow and brought it down some more. But I didn't really care. It doesn't need to be perfect all the time, even though I really am a perfectionist. I was just so over the acrylic and how dry it was, I just didn't even care. So as you're going to see in the following clips, I'm just going to kind of let it do its thing and stop talking for a minute. But I'm just applying the acrylic, the nude acrylic down into the white. And I will be back once we are finished with these last couple of nails. now I'm going in, I wish I can stop saying so, but anyway, now I'm going in and I'm encapsulating. What that means is that I'm protecting everything that I just worked on. When I go in and drill and buff my nails, I don't want any of that ombre, any of that pattern that I just did to be pretty much erased or removed. So encapsulating with a clear acrylic helps to protect that pattern. And I'm just going to do a thin coat on all of my nails. Yet again, try and keep my shape together, make sure that the nail is even. What I forgot to mention is that what you're going to do, since I usually encapsulate my nails, especially when I'm trying to protect something, I only do a thin layer of the original pattern. So that ombre is only a thin layer. Actually, it was kind of thicker than usual for me because, yet again, that acrylic was dry. But usually you want to make sure that it is a thin coat so that once you apply that acrylic, that clear oh goodness, the clear acrylic, that your nails are not like super thick. I'm not into the super thick nails. I like my nails to like be nice and flat looking and thin, but still strong. Now I am going in with my e-file and my drill bit. This is, I believe, a fine drill bit. And I'm going in and pretty much cleaning up my cuticles, making sure that I create a space, a very thin space between my acrylic and my actual nail and cuticle, so that I am sure that there will be no water seeping through and causing my nails to lift. I'm also, as you can kind of see here, going in and pretty much, to me, this is kind of filing and redefining my shape on my nail bed, and also going around that nail bed to make sure that my cuticles are not covered with acrylic. So that's basically what I'm going to go in and do with every nail. And I'm going to also use this e-file to smooth out any bumps or anything. Just make sure that the full nail is all smooth and ready for buffing. Now I am just comparing, which is really a step that I usually do earlier, but I'm just comparing, making sure they're all the same length, making sure they look the same, they're the same shape, everything like that. And then I'm going to start going in with the filing, and I'm going to redefine the shape. So once I finish redefining my shape, it is time to buff. Buffing really shouldn't take more than 1 to 2 minutes because I've already done all the work with the drill while smoothing out and fixing my cuticles. so it really shouldn't be a long process. Now I am going in and applying my top coat, my gel top coat. This gel top coat is amazing. Usually when I am applying my wigs, I use a lace tint, and anytime I have nails on and I'm using that lace tint, of course the spray gets on my nails and stains my nails. I guess it's because that gel polish wasn't powerful enough. This one, amazing. It came right off. I applied the spray tint, the lace tint, like a day after I recorded this, and it literally came right off. And it's just the glossiest, prettiest. It applies smooth. It's just a great gloss. So now what I'm doing is going in and removing the sides of that gel, because they do move down to the sides and I don't want that gel to ruin my shape. So I always make sure that I do that before I go in and cure. I cure it for about a minute. So this is the final look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video showing how I do my nails. Make sure that you like this video. If you liked it, subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.